Hi guys, this is Pestily and welcome to another Escape from Tarkov video. In this video, I'm covering the podcast I just had with Nikita, AxelTV and Noice Guy. I'll be going over all the things that we spoke about and just giving my little points and tips and insight on each of those things. So if you missed the whole podcast, you want to watch the whole thing, that'll be out tomorrow on this channel. However, if you want the summary, this is where you want to be. So without further ado, let's crack straight into it. So the podcast consisted of Nikita, the COO of Escape from Tarkov, and also Noice Guy, another YouTuber, makes really good in-depth news videos for Escape from Tarkov. I'll make sure there will be a link down to him, and also AxelTV, Escape from Tarkov YouTube and streamer, who is very successful in winning tournaments and coming second place in tournaments, professional second placer. His link will be down below. Make sure you go give them a follow, and thank you for them for appearing. We started off the podcast talking about standard quests, daily quests, storyline quests, and the whole task system. The main theme of the podcast was meant to be talking about the prolonged early wipe, the end game, and the prestige system. With the questing, Nikita said that all the standard quests that are in the game right now are placeholders as side quests, and then the main storyline will be added on later on. There was a lot of positive feedback about the daily quests, with one point being that he's interested in putting in a re-roll on one of the daily quests per day, and it's a planned feature to come. So for example, if you get the daily quest, escape from labs 6 times and you don't want to ever go labs, you'll be able to go, oh no, that's the one I don't want to do today. I can refresh that. I don't anticipate this being anytime soon, but it's definitely on their planned list. It did touch on the global tasks to come. I threw up the idea of, hey, would it be cool if we could say, pay 1 billion rubles or 10 billion rubles as a community, and then an event would kick off. And for example, you'd have like killer spawn on different maps if you were able to, fulfill the global quest. The ones that he's already spoken about is stuff like it'll be get certain amount of USEC kills or bear kills as a community, and the winner of whoever gets the most kills or the kills fastest would actually get access to extra stuff for their faction. So if you're a bear, you kill enough USEC as a faction, then you'll get a bonus trader for a period of time. So it'll be interesting to see when these do come in. Hopefully it'll be sooner rather than later. It's just one of those fun things that adds, more depth to the game. And particularly the global ones adds more community aspect to the game. He spoke about the weapon malfunction system. It's going to be pretty much somewhere between 90 and 95% weapon durability. You will get 0 malfunctions at all. However, with 12.12, there are going to be a lot of new malfunctions added to the game. So once you do go under that 90 to 95% mark, you will have a lot more malfunctions and issues with your gun. It might not be as many as often, but there'll be more variety in which ones that you get. So, from weapon, if your weapon is overheating, it will cause it to maybe get an obstruction, but another one might be like a poorly fitted magazine. Have to wait and see where they go with it. But he said they spent a lot of time, a magnificent addition to the game, he said, or a magnificent effort in making it as good as they have done it. So I could imagine it'd be a lot of work to make all the malfunctions for however many guns they got in the game now. It's like 100 guns, and they got to make malfunctions for each of them. So it'll be cool to see what they do with it and how it goes. VOIP, they are preparing for the ETS. So that's the early test servers, and it will be included in patch 12.12. So there was no date on 12.12, but with patch 12.12, there'll be VOIP as well as inertia, which they've already been doing testing on. Unity 2019 will also be added to 12.12, and in Unity 2019, DLSS will be available. And it's one of the major things that they need to have to get DLSS into the game. If you don't know what DLSS is, go look it up. It's an NVIDIA product that makes it so, I think the summary of it is, it kind of makes it so your resolution is different, but at the same time it's the same, and then makes you run faster. All right, it's something like that. That's the real layman way of doing it. I've probably got that really wrong. Someone's going to correct me. As for Lighthouse, it's going to come out in a few iterations. The initial Lighthouse map, you will not be able to go inside the Lighthouse, and there'll be a sniper on top of it. Eventually, in one of the later iterations, you'll be able to pay to get access to the Lighthouse, and that is where you'll do the barter trades and trading with the in-game trader. He also did say, though, that Lighthouse will have 4 scav bosses. It's some sort of scenario or system that he's put in place, and he thought it'd be a really cool idea to have 4. He didn't go into any more information about that, so just be wary that when you do get Lighthouse in the game and you go in there to check it out, there's potential up to 4 different scab bosses that will be in the map. And just to confirm, Lighthouse will be with patch 12.12. Lighthouse will also have the same train extraction as reserve. So it'll be like an armored train, and there will be different weapons that you'll be able to shoot from this train. I think there's meant to be more of a scenario when you leave the map on the train that you'll have to defend yourself a little bit from the train before leaving the map, unlike reserve where you get on it and you just leave. So we'll have to wait and see what happens with that, but it actually does sound pretty cool. This is also the same kind of system that will be used for the BTR that is located on Streets of Tarkov as a taxi service. So when Streets of Tarkov comes out, there's a BTR that's going to be coming on that map. You can pay for a taxi service or for it to attack a certain area. And then I'm guessing when you're in that taxi service, you'll be able to use the BTR for firing. There will be a kill cam added to the game at some point. It's like a planned feature, but it's not anytime soon. And you'll have to pay for it. It's going to be like a helmet camera, and you'll be able to watch it on your TV in your hideout, so you can like relive the raid. I don't know really exactly the full functionality of how far it will go and what it can do and all this other stuff, but that is the initial planned feature for the kill cam that will be added later on in the game. Nikita said he is working on a lot of ideas for having a prolonged early wipe, but it's very difficult to make the early wipe like more enjoyable for the whole community without just like freezing certain features of the game. He doesn't really want to have certain features just freeze, like for example, just shut the flea market for a period of time. He wants it to just have just a more natural process going through. But he has identified the fact that the mid game, there isn't a large portion of mid game. It very much goes from one to the other, being the end game. Now, there was a fair bit of talk we had about the prestige system. So the way it'll work is the prestige system will happen after you get the kappa. You will have the option to prestige and go back to level 1. You will keep the kappa. And it may be like a nicer looking kappa with some sort of like aesthetic to it, like maybe a different color or something like that. But he wanted to gather our ideas for what would it look like once you prestige. We chucked stuff forward like the idea of having a fancy dog tag, like a golden dog tag. Other ideas that went up was a prestiged armband. And Nikita also did bring in the point that maybe he'll have like a prestige melee weapon. So it might be, you know, as you prestige each time, you'll get access to a new thing or different things. But this will help prolong wipes, meaning you'll be able to play a wipe through if you're like a sweaty no-lifer like myself, or if you just got way too much time to play the video games, and you'll get all the way to the point where you get your kappa container. You will be able to prestige and be able to do it multiple times if you like. I definitely threw up the point that if I was to prestige, I'd really like to keep my skills, because of the fact that that's one of the things that takes ages to get up, and you'll never actually get all your skills fully maxed out. Not that you ever would, but you would never have any chance if you were going to prestige. A lot of people would go, do I want to prestige and get to play the game again with a cool new armband or something, or I can keep my skills and then steamroll everyone. So I don't know. We'll have to wait and see what direction Nikita goes with that. There is still the idea though that there will be 2 different servers once the game is released. So for example, there will be the standard server that you'll never get wiped on. That's the normal playthrough. You can play that game and never lose any of your gear for the rest of eternity. But there'll also be like quote unquote seasonal. He doesn't like that word, but a seasonal wipe where it'll wipe every 3 to 6 months, whatever date they pick, and you'll be able to play the game and just experience the rush of a fresh wipe on there. As for guns, he did speak about a fair few guns coming in the future. I'll touch on some of them. There's the AUG, the A1, A2, A3. I don't even remember being an A3, but an A3. And then he said there's been a lot of people asking for that. He spoke about the double barrel shotgun, the revolver shotgun being added in 12.12. So that's the double barrel and the revolver shotgun. That the AUG won't be in 12.12. And there's going to be other guns. He said they're just trying to pack in as many guns as they can into 12.12 to make it as exciting as possible for you guys. He also touched on the fact that the flea market will never be removed from the game, or he doesn't want to remove it from the game. And he's very firm about that, but it may be limited in some aspects. The point about when the game is released, will we get to see new stuff, or will be the entirety of the same game as we've been playing in the actual full release of the game when it does finally release? And the idea is Nikita is actually working really hard to build extra stuff that is ready now, but won't go into the game, and they're saving it for the release. So for example, they might make a heap of guns and just have it ready to get implemented into the game, but they won't actually put it in the game until it's released, purely for the fact that when we do get 1.0, whenever that is, that we're like bombarded with a heap of new content, and it's not just the same game that we've already played. Now, I do apologize that this is a little bit all over the shop. I didn't write my notes myself. A friend did it because I was actually in the podcast, but it's going to be a bit all over the shop. But I've got a list here of all the 12.12 Final Cut features. So currently it's inertia, VOIP, the second iteration of malfunctions. It's going to be new guns, the new AI that's going to be added to the game. I don't know what that, like when I say new AI, it's new AI ways they work, not actual new factions or anything like that. So it's the actual how the AI act. The SCAR will be added, the heavy and light. There will be the new Unity update, DLSS, more quality of life, and then a heap of new stuff that will be kept as a secret. We did touch on microtransactions, and there is definitely never going to be any microtransactions in Escape from Tarkov. And then Nice Guy brought up the point about the armor being added to the game, where it's going to be armored hitboxes. So for example, if you're wearing like a slick, your armor hitbox will only be where the plate covers. And so for example, under the arm would not be protected. So you only have front and back plates, and then everywhere else will be unprotected. And that will be coming eventually to Escape from Tarkov. But it's one of those things that it'll be a very game-changing thing that will be added. There wasn't really a lot to add besides the fact that it's still coming. So I'll just have that point there. Nikita is planning a tournament, or wants to plan a tournament where the winning streamers will actually have access to getting streamer items added to the game. So there will be the opportunity that if someone wants a streamer item, that's a content creator, that if they win that tournament or come in top 5 positions, I think Nikita said, that they'll get their streamer item added to the game as a bit of thank you. The UMP will be getting modifications added to the game as well. So there is an image, I'll have it up on the screen somewhere, and you'll be able to see the suppressor for that, as well as there are going to be a lot more modifications added to the game in 12.12. They do have a plan for a new lobby system that will come to the game as well. It won't be with 12.12. It would be very unlikely that it would be with 12.12. But for example, you'll be able to team up with your group before going to the lobby section, which means you'll be able to join a raid without having to go to that lobby and then like find your friend, add it, and then go forward from there. So it'll be a lot smoother process. But there has been a lot of quality of life additions added to the game over the last few patches, and they're definitely nailing down some of those issues. And lastly, there was I brought up the point about combining med supplies. So for example, if you had like an ibuprofen with 4 uses, one with 6 uses, could you combine them? And that's on their to-do list. Now, that was pretty much everything we spoke about during this podcast. I do apologize of how this video is kind of a bit all over the shop. I'm normally a little bit more structured with my notes when I watch a podcast, but I asked someone else to do the notes for this video, and I'm still live streaming whilst I'm recording this video. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please take the time and effort to like and comment for the YouTube algorithm. It does mean a lot, and it does help out with discoverability. Make sure you go and give Nice Guy a sub and check out his YouTube content. He does very to-the-point content for Escape from Tarkov and makes some other content as well. And then AxelTV, thanks as well for joining the podcast. He speaks Russian. He's a native Russian speaker as well. And so he was really helpful with helping translate some of the issues when Nikita was language barriered behind being able to talk about certain points in the game. So that was really helpful. So thank you, AxelTV, for that. And make sure you go give him a follow either on his YouTube or his Twitch stream. As for that, guys, I do stream on Twitch every day of the week. So if you want to give me a follow, go down the link below, give me a follow over there. And I am pumping out YouTube content on both my Pestily channel and Pestily TV channel, where you can find the Raid series, Hardcore series, and I've got a new duo series with Red Ops coming out. I've started the 7 Days to Die series. There's a lot of series going out on the Pestily TV channel, as well as news and gameplay highlight on the main channel. So appreciate you guys hanging around this long. Subscribe, notification bell, and lastly, guys, I'll see you next time.